Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines, and we'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, it looks like the police has been working pretty fast in Philly because they already found the suspect, or the person that they are accusing of being the one that actually unalived Mr. Disrespectful himself, YBC Dul. Now they're saying that a 16-year-old by the name of Aiden Waters was the one that took his life in the drive-by shooting that we all seen on surveillance camera, where a car pulled up basically alongside YBC Dul in the car that he was in, and then they fired shots into it very quick and then they sped off. It's been rumored that the car that they used for the whole situation was burned later on that night, and they did leave a little bit of ballistic evidence behind, and I'm assuming they used that evidence to actually track the 16-year-old down. Now it is kind of crazy because I always wonder how do they go about finding these suspects if it was really little to no evidence that was left behind. Now I know they did say it was a little bit of ballistic evidence left in the car, but like I said, we were still never told what those ballistics actually were. And if you going off the surveillance camera that we seen, you really can't see who did what. So it's always interesting to see how they got their leads on who they think the suspects actually are. Now the news just dropped about why they feel that this man was the one behind the demise of YBC Dul. So I'm just gonna read the article that's been put in the Inquirer coming out of Philly, so y'all can pretty much just get the gist of it. From what they're saying, they're making this kid seem like he is the Grim Reaper himself. They saying that he was already involved in a bunch of shootings. I don't know if maybe they was investigating him before, and then that's how they came across him doing this to YBC Dul. Who knows? But according to them, he actually has a couple bodies under his belt that they know about. But we're going to get into the article and everything that they're saying they're accusing him of. But before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Now the article straight out of the Inquirer will say, quote, a 16-year-old has been charged with the murder in the high-profile unaliving of a West Philadelphia gang leader and rapper, as well as multiple shootings across North Philadelphia last month. Aiden Waters is accused of unaliving 2 people and attempting to seriously injure or unalive 8 others within just 5 days in August, according to court records. Among those police say he unalived is Abdul Vix, a 25-year-old rapper and the head of a West Philadelphia-based gang known as the Young Bag Chasers, or YBC. Vix, better known as YBC Dul, was unalived in a drive-by shooting in Albany on August 23rd. Police say Vix had just picked up a friend and was driving down the 5500 block of North Fairhill Street around 3:30 p.m. As he slowed at a stoplight, a white car drove up alongside him and 2 passengers fired multiple rounds into Vic's vehicle before speeding off. Vix was struck multiple times in the chest and hand. His friend rushed him to Einstein Medical Center, where he died just before 4 p.m. Police said they recovered the shooter's getaway car on the 6900 block of North 15th Street later that night. The car had been burned, they said, but detectives recovered ballistic evidence inside. Just days before that, police said Waters was involved with 2 other shooters nearby. Around 2:30 a.m. on August 19th, he's accused of shooting into a car full of teens on the 200 block of East Duncannon Street, according to records. 2 16-year-olds were shot, including one who was fatally struck in the head. For that crime, Waters has been charged with murder, arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, and gun crimes. He also faces 5 counts of attempted M for the attack on a teen who was struck and survived, and the 4 others who were in the car at the time of the shooting but were not shot. Waters have also been charged with a shooting just hours earlier, the records show. Around 9:50 p.m. on August 18th, police said he opened fire on 2 people on the 500 block of Center Street in Longcrest. A 43-year-old man was struck in the abdomen and a 14-year-old was shot in the leg. both survived. For that, he faces charges of attempted M, aggravated assault, conspiracy, receiving stolen property, and related crimes, records show. Waters remained in custody, held without bail, after being arraigned early Friday morning. The charges come just 2 weeks after Vicks was unalived, a death that shocked many, from young people who listened to his music to law enforcement who had been monitoring his whereabouts. Now I'm gonna leave it there because they didn't really say too much. It was just an article basically stating that he's going to be arraigned and whatever the case may be. Now, a couple of things stuck out to me when it comes to this article, because pretty much they allowed this 16-year-old to raise hell because it seems like they was already aware of the things he was doing around the area or just the neighborhood period. And they also mentioned that they knew of and was tracking YBC Dul's whereabouts. So I don't know why it took them this long to actually find the suspect in the whole situation. And I don't know why they was aware of the 16-year-old and everything he was doing as he was terrorizing his neighborhood and still allowed him to do so. They said this kid was just 16 years old and he was accused of unaliving 2 people and attempting to seriously injure or take the life of 8 others within just 5 days in August alone. And keep in mind, that's just the stuff that they got on him. That's just the stuff that they know. Just imagine all the other stuff before August, before the summertime, before whenever that he did that they don't even know about. But the thing that gets me is it seems like they already had knowledge of this 16-year-old who was on the loose. So why was he able to continue doing what he was doing? Maybe if they would have nipped it in the bud and arrested him a little earlier, then maybe YBC Dul would still be here, right? And if they was in fact tracking YBC Dul's whereabouts while he was in the city, then why was this man able to carry out what he did and get away with it for as long as he did? You know, if they were tracking his whereabouts when everything first happened, they should have been on it right then and there. You know, now they said the article don't specify how police went about tracking the 16-year-old Aiden Waters down, but I'm assuming it's ballistic evidence, or I'm assuming they was already tracking him and investigating him like they said, and when it came down to it, they already know that he did what he did. But let me tell y'all one thing about police, like I always say in previous videos, whenever somebody's in the street and they end up losing their life or they get shot or something, let's be real here. I personally feel, and this is just my opinion, the police don't care when something happens to somebody who they was already after. Now, you know, it's different if somebody's innocent, they was targeted, whatever the case may be, they might do their due diligence in finding out who did what. But sometimes when these guys be losing their life and they're already known to law enforcement, they already giving law enforcement problems, or maybe they committed crimes that law enforcement know they did but can't prove it so they can't arrest them. These are the things that I think go through the police mind when one of these guys lose their life. Like YBC Dul, we know that, I'm sure the police were well aware of him, as they always say. Look, if you pay attention to the article, even in the article they keep saying gang member, gang leader, gang this, gang that. This man lost his life, and y'all gotta remember that his family, I know people may not like him, I know he did whatever he did in the streets, but for the news, for the broadcast to actually put that out there, knowing that he has family that's still grieving aside from the streets, it's kind of messed up. Yes, y'all might know him as a gang member. Yes, y'all might know him as Mr. Disrespectful, but there's other people that's actually in his family, his loved ones, that know him as something different, but they gotta see that their loved one that's no longer here is being called a gang member, of this and of that. So this is why I feel that when one of these guys lose their life and they was already out there in the street doing whatever they was doing, police really don't take it as serious as they should. This reminds me of the situation with a young man from Chicago who went by the name of No Limit Mad Max, who they said he was in the streets heavily, but he lost his life. And although the person who did it, they got caught with the weapon, they was pointed out by a witness. The actual victim, Mad Max himself, pointed him out and said he did it. And the man ended up still only doing about 4 to 6 years in prison for taking somebody's life. So that should be a lesson for anybody that's coming out, that's glorifying that culture, or that's in the streets. Be careful, because it could come back to haunt you in many ways. Alright, so that's pretty much it, man. I guess they got the suspect in custody now. It's a 16-year-old by the name of Aiden Waters. And y'all jump in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping. And I'm out.